Give me a minute. I have to use the bathroom all of a sudden. Sorry. They're live, by the way, so if you want to entertain them, go right ahead.
We're live. Let me entertain you. Let me entertain you.
Okay, I am back, and we are back for the Anime4ALL podcast. I guess before we start anything, hey Jock, how you doing?
Hey,
Is that it?
how's it going?
Everything's going good. Do I sound any different?
No. Do I sound any different?
Ow.
What?
I bought a new mic like 2 weeks ago, and now until I don't sound any different.
You don't sound any different. It was a trap question, but if you want me to be honest.
Ow. I think you just hurt my wallet.
Jeremy, you've got such a nice voice, though.
I'm hurt.
It's all deep and velvety and charismatic.
Okay, with that, I guess before we do anything else, I guess we better get this out of the way. Yes, we went on like I think a 2-week break. I think it what it was. Things happened, life got in the way, and I just thought it was a good idea for us just to, you know, take care of ourselves. And we're back now for I don't know how many episodes is left, but we're getting caught up now. So
I think there's 36 left.
If there were 36, what's happening is these last 2 episodes absolutely makes no sense. So, and one last thing, because we haven't done this in a while, let me get Anchor.com open. I don't
There's
think
4 more episodes after this.
so. There's only 2 more episodes that got released then, because episode 50 is already on the website.
Yeah, and then 51, 52, and that's it.
We're reaching the end.
That's what she said.
I think she'd be disappointed if she'll reach in the end, but whatever.
Well, it depends where the end is, doesn't it?
I guess.
Sometimes the breast is yet to come.
Dang it, Jock. Apparently, some people listen to us on Amazon Alexa. So, Alexa, turn on that oven.
What?
Apparently, some people listen to us on Amazon Alexa.
Yes,
I just thought I'd trick Alexa into doing something.
turn on that oven?
Some people have Alexa connected to their kitchen.
Really? Smart ovens? That's pretty cool. I didn't know about it.
No, so you turn right into, I forgot her name. I don't even know when Dragon Prince is coming back. I mean, it's supposed to be coming back this year. But there was no release date window, so boned we are.
Boned we are.
Dang it, Jock. I literally just came off of like watching all the movies like over the course of a couple weeks to get myself prepared for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh yeah? Are you watching the other stuff? Like, did you watch Bad Batch and all that stuff?
No, I actually haven't given that a thought. Maybe we could. Like I said before, the group that I usually watch stuff with, we haven't really decided what we're doing next. I figured that maybe we're like just coast off of Star Wars.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, we watched The Mandalorian. That was before I started my Star Wars movie watch.
Yeah, Mandalorian's free.
So we're waiting for season 3, which has gotten confirmed. So was already been confirmed. And we already know. I mean, the last, I guess, before we, talk about Shaman King, we can talk about some other things too, because this is kind of what this podcast is about, is talking about things we watched, how we enjoyed it, and see where we go from there.
What he said.
Oh, okay, but so with the Mandalorian, I didn't talk about this, but I find it kind of funny that I found reactions of what happened in the final episode with the Grogu. The fan base has really accepted that little I don't even know what the heck he is, because Yoda was like, Yoda and the female of his race, they never really gave an actual race name.
They call it Yoda's race.
I mean, for right now, until they get to give it a name. You know they're gonna give it a name.
I hope not. I kind of like it serious.
I don't know if I really want it to be Yoda's race, because that's Yoda's name, and I don't know if I want to be referring to Yoda's race as Yoda's race. But I mean, if that's what it has to.
Why are you spending so much time worrying about race?
I always like to know what to refer him to his just like know what type of alien, because you know they're gonna bring it up in like later iterations of whatever they do in this universe, and they're probably gonna keep bringing up Grogu. I mean, I guess Grogu's good.
Off if they like spend too much time.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like Grogu is like.
That's just my 2 cents. I think the fandom likes that he's mysterious.
I mean, he's mysterious, but I kind of like to know more about him, and you kind of like mystery is good and all, but I like to know more about, like, at least to know if maybe, because there've been hints that maybe Yoda was like gifted because of his blood, his DNA. So yeah. I mean, if it is, or at least like to know if maybe they are just like gifted in the Force. I guess if they can answer that question, I guess I'll leave it alone. Again, I don't even know what Grogu's like purpose is.
We've seen 4 or 5 of Yoda's species throughout all of existing and former canon, and all of them were gifted in the Force. And there are races that are gifted in the Force, like the Sith is a race, as well as like there being Sith warriors, that fight in the style of the Sith. It was also a race. And
well, Sith isn't really a race; it's more of like a side.
No, it's a race too. There are Sith, like the race of Sith.
Doesn't make any sense because Anakin was a human and he became a Sith Lord.
Yeah, but like Jewish is both a race and like a religion.
Kind of funny that you bring that up, because as I was rewatching throughout the Star Wars stuff, after your little bomber of telling me that apparently Vader was German, as I was watching just through the Star Wars, especially the earlier portions of it, there was a lot of Nazi symbolization that I was never aware of.
Oh yeah.
I was sitting there, like, there's a lot of Nazis going on. What is happening here? Why is the dark side Nazis? And, like, I'm starting to wonder if like the Jedi were just Jewish, because like it's ridiculous. And maybe they were. I have no idea. But
They do have a lot of money in their prequels.
Dang it, Chuck.
What?
Dang it.
I want you to look in chat. And the Discord chat. This is from Wikipedia. The first link in particular is important.
This is a sect. It doesn't say it's a race.
It does. Even it does in the thing there. The Sith originally referred to a species of aliens native to them. Look under the word legends. Even the text there says it.
Maybe that's in the old continuity. I don't think they refer to the same thing in the new EU.
Look. How about that one? I'm not like making this up. Like,
no, what I'm saying is like maybe it's in the old continuity. Because that's what I said before you snapped at me. Maybe it's in the old EU. I have no idea. I was told that there was an old EU that they completely retconned.
Okay, well here's the canon version. Here's the link to the canon version of it.
Why were the aliens red with tentacles? I've seen enough hentai. I know where this is going.
Well, anyway, I mean, canon is a much more smaller, like, piece than, you know, non-canon. Like, the non-canon legend stuff is obviously much bigger, but, like, Sith are a thing. It's a species as well. At the very least, it's not a species in non-canon until they say it's not, you know. But they did mention it in something canon very small, so it's, as far as we know, it's also a canon species, even though it's not like a big deal.
I don't really think they were a species anymore because I've like.
You always do, though. You always just kind of disagree with me to disagree.
No, it's not. I'm just not that. I'm just saying, like, they haven't, like. I watched the movies, and, like, when they refer to Sith, they refer to the people, the Force-sensitive users using the dark side of the Force. They've never actually said there was a species of people, like, or aliens out there.
But I mean,
they never not said it.
Canon is not just the movies. It's like the Bad Batch. It's the Clone Wars. It's the books. Like, canon is not just the movies. In the movies, what they're concerned with is the Sith as a race, for sure. I mean, the Sith as like a religious cult, for sure. But that doesn't mean that it's not. If it's not in the movies, it doesn't exist.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from what I guess it's kind of what I was saying. Whatever. Tomato. I mean, I don't know if I really like the idea that they're aliens because they're just like, okay, then this is a can of worms that I don't want to deal with.
Why you gotta bring worms into it?
Okay, enough of Star Wars. We're gonna just move on to Shaman King. We're just gonna move on to the anime episodes 47 and 48.
I'm like listening to like Star Wars fandom, and I've listened to some of the audiobooks and stuff like that. I'm not saying like the world's expert or anything. So definitely not.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up for me. What's happening?
Oh, I said I listened to a lot of Star Wars fandom stuff on YouTube. And I've listened to some of the audiobooks and stuff like. I mean, I've been listening to the fandom stuff for like a really long time. It's like insomnia listening. And I've listened to a lot of audiobooks and stuff like that. So, like, I'm not like an expert or anything, but I mean, I know the things I know.
I mean, I'm not challenging you to it because, like I said, I'm only just recently caught up mainly because I only did the rewatch, and this is the real specific reason I did the rewatch. I watched these things with my mother growing up, but I wasn't really watching them. I was looking for like the lightsaber fights. I wasn't really paying attention to the world building or anything of the sort when I was growing up. So when people were around me were talking about Star Wars, and I could kind of like understand, and I could go back and forth with some of the best of them, I couldn't, because I realized that I didn't know a dang thing. All I really cared about was the Jedi, and as I got older, I realized that I didn't know a dang thing about them, and I was like, oh well, I'll get around to rewatching them in full. And luckily, the people that in the community that I'm with right now were really supportive that they were willing to watch it with me. So I got a chance to like at least watch them and actually watch them in full, and get a chance to look around. So I got a chance to see a lot of that I didn't see. Granted, I also got a chance to finally watch the last movie they made in the new trilogy that it sounds like they're going to retcon, which I don't know how I feel about that.
The new trilogy is such trash.
You see, that's the thing. I like, and I knew this was going to happen, at least on my end, was that, a lot of things that people said they don't like, I end up liking or enjoying somewhat. And I will say that I actually enjoyed the new trilogy.
I mean, you're fully free to be a bad person.
I knew that was coming.
You be my guest. Be a bad person. I mean,
there's some things, I didn't like Luke Skywalker drinking milk, blue milk. That was disgusting. And I had the unprivilege of watching that the first time go around on 4K, on a 4K TV. There was a lot of milk driplets on that man's beard, and I didn't need to count them all.
You, a little traumatized by it, would you say? Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I was traumatized. I watched it again, but this time in HD, so I didn't see all that. But let's just say, like, watching an alien teat get milked in 4K was not fun.
It wouldn't be my definition of a good day.
It was very uncomfortable. It was probably the most uncomfortable thing I've ever watched on a movie to date.
I mean, okay.
and I watch anime, so things can get really uncomfortable there.
I don't know if I would have taken it that far, but I don't disagree at all.
So I'm just saying, like, I think that says something about my threshold for uncomfortableness, because I watched people break their fingers in high definition before, and it's just like, I can sit there and watch that. But I guess we're going to move on, because I'm just talking and not really going anywhere with my statements. But we're going to talk about these episodes, Shaman King 47 and 48. I believe that it was probably a good idea we talked for 30 minutes about something else, because I don't think there's going to be much to say in combo here. I thought I had things to say.
Real quick, did you watch, before we get into it, I'm really curious, did you end up enjoying the dungeon video?
I haven't really gone back to watch, but I will be going back to watch. I think I watched 3 episodes, and that was back when I had a headache. And again, I typically watch new things when I have a headache. I don't know why. It just makes it easier for me to sit down and watch something, because I think I'm antsy when I'm well.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I'm not feeling well, I can sit down and do absolutely nothing for a while. So I watched 3 episodes.
What's your headaches? You don't have to answer on stream, but is there something I should know about your headaches?
No, they just happen
from time to time. I was just curious.
I mean, the only thing I really like mention is that I for whatever reason my headaches. It's not as common anymore, but it still happens. I sometimes will just, I will vomit. It's a side effect. I already told you about this. It depends on how intense the headache is, but
yeah.
Some people have told me it might be migraines, and I've actually had that in my brain for a while now. I think ever since I got to college, it's like, these might not be headaches. It might be something completely different. And I used to take Excedrin migraine for it, but I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to go back, but typically I don't take anything, because for whatever reason I take them, and it just usually it results in me 5 to 6 hours later, face above the toilet. So that's not a good time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I enjoyed the show when I was watching it. Ultimate opinion, I'm not that impressed. I like Hestia and Belle. I've known about these characters for a while. I'm kind of intrigued by the elf chick that seems to have this fetish for him, but is constantly putting things in his way to make him stronger. It's very weird. I know there's gonna be a harem involved at some point. I had the strangest suspicion that
the females very often have a thing for him, but I would definitely not call it a harem.
I'm using the term harems as he has a bunch of girls surrounding him, and that's typically what gives an anime the harem tag.
Oh. I mean, yeah, there's lots of girls surrounding him. He's got some male friends and stuff too.
Yeah, but I mean, mostly, like there are shows like, damn, I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of one. Typically what gives the anime a harem tag is, like, I understand you talking about harem, like, he's not having intercourse with these girls, which, it's, at first I was kind of confused, like, he seems like he's kind of a pervert, but he seems to be only a pervert for that girl in Loki's guild, which, by the way, this is the first time I've ever seen Loki portrayed as a woman. Weird. Most of the time Loki's portrayed as a dude.
Hermes is pretty much a woman, aren't they? I think it's pretty much everybody but Hermes is a woman.
No, Ganhara is a dude.
I can think of.
Ganhara, the elephant guy, he's the dude. I hope he's a dude. I'd be concerned if he wasn't. But
please be a dude, please. Be a dude. Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't have an opinion. I'm not impressed, but I'm not, like, disappointed. I guess is the best way to put it. I'm waiting for that episode to, like, blow me away. It hasn't happened yet. I guess because I'm
thinking it's a blow you away kind of anime. I just think it's really fun.
There's gonna be a scene that's gonna blow me away. There's gotta be. I mean, even if it isn't that kind of show, there's just give you something that's like, oh my goodness, this is it.
It's a really fun, reliable, good time anime. That's how I felt about it. I was just like, this strikes me as fun all the way home, you know? But I don't know if I'd go so far as to say, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say, like, you're going to be blown away by something.
I got real close with Belle fighting that giant gorilla thing. Like that fight was actually kind of impressive for a guy using a knife.
Yeah, I will say that, like, I really enjoy the plot line and everything. Like, I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have, like, the power of, like, my all-time favorite animes, you know. But I would say that, like, it'd be really hard not to like the anime.
Well, I'm not in, like, I guess by impressed, like, I haven't been like whoa or wow, because even some of, like, the campier shows gonna give me that whole wow thing, but I haven't had that happen yet. But maybe it will in due time. I intended to watch some last weekend, but I didn't get around to it. I actually did not get around. I actually have not been. I've been on a very, like, steep lull in watching anime. Hopefully, maybe if whatever this is, like, anime block that I'm having will end soon, so I can get back to it. But we'll see.
You didn't want to watch that boxing show, huh?
I'm fully aware of Baki, and it's just one of those things I haven't really been interested in watching. I've seen some of it, and I know that it's, like, you know, I know people who are really.
I got drawn into some of the.
Well, not Baki, Hajime no Ippo. I've seen some of the animation, and I'm well aware of the manga, and I'm surprised the anime is still not going, because that manga, as far as I'm aware, is still being printed. Like, the creator is still making chapters. That thing is, like, I think it's, like, the longest running comic in the world right now. Let's get an actual accurate number. I think it's still running, and it began its run on October 11th, 1989. It has 133 volumes out right now. The fact that the show isn't running, still running, is very... Oh, it's got... It at least had 3 animes. Huh. That surprises me, actually, because I thought it didn't have that long of a run. Wait, is that 3 or 2? I guess one is an OVA. So it's 2 animes and 1 OVA.
I'm kind of watching it with Jessie. She's like, her take on it is like, she's like, it's not my favorite thing of all time, but like, I'll watch it with you. So it's like, again, it's like, I don't know. I haven't been blown away by an anime in a really long time. I really liked My Hero Academia, and I find that you have extremely good taste when it comes to things I'm likely to like. But I can't say I've been blown away by something.
I mean, My Hero, for me, he blew me away.
My Hero Academia, I wouldn't say it blew me away, but it's extremely good. Like, don't get me wrong in the least. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But I don't know, dude.
That's fine. I mean, everybody has their own, like, what makes them, like, what, you know, what blows them away.
But I'm really enjoying it. That's the thing. Like, I can't wait for the next round.
Well, that's like later this year, I think. I think we're looking at October.
It's taking way too long. I want to watch Dragon Prince too, because that's been fantastic. That's what I mean. Like, you find things that I really, really enjoy. Like, you have extremely good taste in anime. But nothing like the things I think probably the closest something's come to blowing me away is that the anime with the sword woman.
That's very vague, Jog. You have to be more specific.
The sword woman, the woman with the sword that, like, we watched together. We didn't watch it together, but I recommended it to you. Moribito.
Oh, I am sad to say that did not blow me away.
I think that was probably the happiest I've been with an anime, short of the ones that you've introduced me to.
That's good. You really need to watch the Rising of the Shield Hero. It's got a season 2 coming out, and I think you would enjoy. It's kind of like fantasy, where you get the main character being thrown into an RPG world, but without spoiling anything. For me, if anything, that's probably I've been really surprised at how, like, I thoroughly enjoyed that thing from start to finish. Rarely do I start an anime and I like the first episode outright out the gate. And because even My Hero Academia wasn't like that for me. I didn't like the first episode wasn't like, oh my god. It took a couple episodes and that thing for it to catch my attention, but like for Rising Shield Hero kind of caught my attention because it wasn't the stereotypical, like, you get thrown into a world and you immediately, become the king or whatever, or you're just like immediately like good. He's kind of got that going for him, but something happened. Like, a wrench gets thrown his path, the Shield Hero, and it's like things like I wasn't expecting. Like some of the things, like I guess I can say, the main character gets thrown into the fantasy world, and he meets 3 other people who also come from like the realm he's from, and they are like apparently they all like picked up the same book that was telling a tale, and they get sucked into it. And funnily enough, it's like I think each hero picked up a book that designated the kind of hero they're going to be in that world. The Shield Hero, obviously, he picked up his book, and the funny thing is about that, when he picked up his book, it had an ending. It was a story being told, and it didn't finish. When he saw that, he got sucked into the world, and like essentially he was given like a shield on his arm. The name of the freaking show. But essentially what happens from there is that, let's just say that he gets tricked, and essentially is like ostracized from like the group of like people that he met, because they're all supposed to be heroes. There's a sword hero, a spear hero. He's the shield one. I think there's a bow hero, and pretty much he gets tricked. He gets his stuff stolen, and essentially is like, because each one was given like a boost, like a booster pack type of situation in the game, quote unquote. he doesn't get it because everybody thinks he's evil, and he pretty much spends like the majority of the show trying to, you know, at first he's trying to prove to people that he's not evil. He gets sick and tired of it and just starts like playing the part. And you go through the series seeing his interactions with people, and you know, finding out that he's not as bad as people are saying he is. It's like it's really cool. I like the way that they done it. It's like he's not extremely likable at first, and then you start seeing that like he just got screwed. You know, that was just what happened. He just got screwed. Essentially, he ends up repairing relationships, and he ends up getting back. So he gets back surprisingly funny. Essentially, he gets revenge on the person that tricked him. And we should say that like it was like it was amazing in my opinion. Like I can't believe they did it the way they did it. But you have some characters, you have some character interactions. Like the first character that you meet is pretty cool. I think I liked her. Like I guess some of the progression, you know, that happened with some of these characters. I'm trying not to say too much, in case you do watch it. But I actually really liked it, and I think you would like it too, considering like I guess you like fantasy and animes to an extent. And I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of animes that have like a character from the modern era get thrown into a, you know, another universe, and like in pretty much playing on RPG terms. Because some of the things you see like magic and whatever, it's like really well done. There's a skill tree, and they're not even shy of like kind of almost breaking the fourth wall. Like you see the character looking at his skill tree. It's like a computer screen possibly in front of them. It's actually kind of funny, but like it fits in the world because you know you're playing.
We're talking about right now, they literally have a skill tree.
Huh?
It literally has a skill tree.
Yeah, you see it. You like. I mean, like they literally there's an encounter with a monster. And like he's like looking, he has a party already, and he's like he has a mage, he has a sword fighter, and a giant bird. That I will just like leave like completely vague because it's kind of hilarious. But like he's like trying to figure out how to deal with this because he's a tactician kind of, and like he's looking at his skill tree because he remembers earlier on when the way he levels up is actually like beating monsters and then taking some of their essence and putting it into a shield, and the shield analyzes it and gives him various shields that he has, and he has a plethora of shields actually. Some of them are really cool, and I like some of the aspects of some of them. He can't really attack on his own, which is the kind of the downside that he has. He has to have somebody to fight for him, and it's even weirder and kind of messed up how he kind of has to get one. Nobody wants to join him because he's supposed to be the villain. He's a bad guy, so he has to like get a slave at first, and it's just like it's really at first it's really messed up like what happened to him, but like by the end of it all you're kind of like, yeah, I think this is like a better way to have built him up. Like he's the most powerful. It's funny that like he's the most powerful person in the show. But he's not really powerful in the sense of like he has a lot of attack. He's just powerful because like he has all these defensive abilities and whatnot, and like he's managed to like I guess like he's a character that can bring people together and change people's minds somewhat, but it's not in the sense of like Midoriya or Yo for that matter. You know, he doesn't like beat somebody and they immediately join his side. And it's some of the people that he ends up like partnering with like are just kind of happenstance. Like they just kind of happen to be there, and they like him. So it's like, you know, like I think that's what I kind of enjoy. The guy's name is Naofumi, but like, you know, like I think you need to like sit down and really watch to get a good feel for it.
I love your conclusion. I think you just need to sit down.
I'm not trying to say much because like I actually really enjoyed it, and the season 2 is coming out, and I cannot wait for season 2. It's actually been a show that I could not wait for.
You concluded it. You're like, you just need to sit down and watch it.
He told me to do with like if is it okay to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Shut up and sit down, son. Just watch it.
Okay, enough of that. It's like just we're rambling on about nothing, but I mean that's kind of the point of this at this point now, just to talk. We're gonna review episode 47 of Shaman King. The name is Plants. The overall like synopsis is the Shaman King is finally decided. Woo! It's none other than how, in order to prevent the destruction of humanity, Yo and his friends decide to move to prevent the fusion between Hao and the Great Spirits. But the patches block the way to protect the new Shaman King. The one to block Yo's way is the man who challenged Yo from the past. I gotta say that I was very shocked, kind of like when they first had Silva pop up to stop them.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, are they really gonna have Silva fight him now? And then it's revealed that Silva just like met them up there because he wanted to. We also find that apparently they broke, quote unquote, him.
Yeah, that seemed to be the whole explanation as to why he was doing that. But like, I felt like he was still sort of trying to help them too.
I think all the patch are trying to help in their like own way. At least the ones that aren't like who aren't like siding with Hao, which is only 2.
If you don't mind me going out of order for a second.
I mind. Stop it. No, just kidding.
The one thing I felt was going on there is I was reminded, and you're gonna hate me for saying this, I was reminded of Dragon Ball Z, or I'm sorry, Dragon Ball Super.
I already hate you for this.
What?
No, just kidding. Continue.
You already hate me for this. I heard you.
Just kidding.
And you're not though.
No, I am. I really am.
In Dragon Ball Super, do you remember the scene where one of the universes the first universe gets eliminated, and they focus on one of the angels, and the angels gets this like weird smile about them losing as the universe gets eliminated, and then from that point forward, everybody wondered if the angels were like a bad guy or not.
Part of that, I remember the angels smiling. I also remember like lots of universes getting destroyed. Are you using that as a way to compare what happened at the end of the fight, the first fight with the first patch member?
Yeah, he gets that smile, and you're just like, wait a minute, why is this so good for you? Like, why are you so happy about this? And I wondered personally, I was like, if you're this happy about this, like, what's that about? And I don't know, it just struck me as a little too like satisfied with the situation for someone that like is supposed to be doing their job defending Hao.
What the thing? I think I saw that smile and I took it as we haven't seen the smile since, because the other 2 that happened to follow suit are just like hardcore trying to stop him.
Yeah.
But
well, no, because the third one says, I really didn't want to have to do this. I was trying to stay neutral. And they go through that like scene with him where he's kind of reluctant to do it. He even gives them a chance to surrender. So far, we've only really seen one patch that's all about like taking them down for good.
No, the patch efficient for the spider guy and then the falcon guy that follows him. Those 2 are trying to stop them hardcore. If you wonder who I'm talking about, the falcon guy was the one that Ren took out.
Okay.
Or just the owl guy. He had an owl. Yeah,
the owl guy seemed like he was trying as hard as he could. And the second guy, but the one in the lake biome.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about him, but like I was like, I think there's like 3 because it's like that guy. It's a snake guy, then it's the spider guy, then it's the owl guy, then it's the pelican. I don't think it's a swan. I almost called it a swan. I don't think it's a swan.
It was I wrote down what it was. It's an Australian pelican.
Taka. Sorry. That's not.
I guess I did my research for at least one thing. Don't call my research caca.
Dang it, Jack. Okay, I guess we talked about Silva as like they also actually take this time to explain that apparently I I said a lot of numbers get thrown out here, so forgive me if I forget something. But basically what I got from all this was to simplify it for right now as we dive into this rabbit hole that we will not be coming out from for a couple weeks. There is an underground facility, and there are 10 biome plants, what they call them, plants, and each plant has a specific biome in it. Apparently this was Mu technology. I'm actually jumping ahead here, but apparently these were developed by the Mu civilization as they went into space, which is interesting that they bring that up here. Considering that the last plant that Hal gets getting to is emulating space, and apparently they bring up the fact that, you know, that because they were human, they weren't able to really, I guess, successfully do what they were trying to do, and they just all perished. But a part of me wonders if the two girls that were like with Hal bringing him to where he ended up were part of the Mu civilization. I have no idea. That's just my own like little question.
That can go down there.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, if they might just be young patch people, because like that's probably what they are, just young kids from the patch tribe. But yeah, maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. I have no idea.
What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
But going back to the very beginning of the episode here, after Silva like attacks Yo and shows that he's much better than him, essentially 2 more patch members show up, and they have their little like conversation about like, you're not gonna be able to make it because the Shaman King sleeps for like 10 hours, and these are 10 plants that will slow them down. So like, I think this is you saying you're imagining that the pace they would need to be able to go through these is to get through each plant in 1 hour.
But then I realized I was kind of wrong, because he also has 5 extra hours, right?
Well, I mean, the ritual is apparently was to take 5 hours. I thought there was another set of numbers that they threw out too that made it seem like it was almost like a full day. But if I'm taking what you have here, it's 15 hours in total. Yeah, they have at least 10 hours to get down there. If they don't make it by then, they'll have 5 extra hours as the summoning happens for the spirit in how to fuse.
Like, plus the transition time or something. They were really vague about like.
Yeah, I mean, I know they threw some numbers out that I completely forgot, and it might have been the transitional time that you're referring to. I don't know. It's like there's whatever's going on seems like it's going to take a long time, which is probably why they have like, you know, the becoming the Shaman King happens so far into the earth that, you know, nobody can find it. Apparently Hal passed through all these plants with no problem. I guess because like the patch tribe isn't trying to stop him; they're trying to stop Yo and the gang.
Yo and the gang sounds like the greatest new like album drop.
Dang it!
Wouldn't you listen to Yo and the Gang? That sounds like excellent.
I don't know. I would have to see the first episode. We go further in after.
You get a headache. Watch 3 at once. Why not?
Dang it. Okay, the patch go and do their own vague little like, I guess like story plot, letting them know like Silva isn't supposed to be here, and I was like, okay, that explains what's happening, because I was very confused and kind of concerned they were gonna use Silva and just blow it all out at once. I don't know where Silva is.
Like Silva's gonna be like one of the last ones they face up against, and this isn't over.
What? You kind of like buzzed out there. What was it? Is it Silva?
You get the feeling that Silva, like they're not done with Silva yet? That like this isn't over?
Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I was kind of concerned that Silva was the first one that they found out, because I thought they were going to save him for last, if not last, like next to last. But like I'm glad that, you know, that Silva wasn't their next fight, which is good, because I wanted to at least. I felt like Silva going up to him now would have been kind of unfair. Then again, based on what's happening right now, I think it's still unfair. But we'll get to that in a minute. I guess after they all disappear with their vague message about, you know, you're gonna have to find us and defeat us to be able to progress to the plants. I also want to point out too, there's gonna be a lot of talking about death in this show. At this point, killing Yo and anybody in Yo's gang dying right now would actually be a blessing, because they just get revived. Foreshadowing. Um, we go to the first of the plants, the desert
Meaning
plant.
if they power up when they get revived, is that what you're indicating?
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, anybody dying could just be a power up, which is kind of funny in a show about shamans, but
Except that they have very, very limited power ups. They only have 2 people that are really capable of powering people up.
well, I mean, one of them already kind of used them, and it looks like the other one got stabbed, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We go to the first of the plants, the desert plant. Surprised that was the first one. And the Patch Tribe member that's there, which is also the weakest, Namori, the snake patch officiant.
He's the weakest? How do you know that?
I feel because he was the first one. They wouldn't like save like their strong, like one of their strongest guys at the front of the line.
Yeah.
I guess technically speaking, I mean,
I didn't know if you had like an actual.
I'm just taking the order that they're putting these guys in to indicate their strength level. Also, I don't think he mentions the patch song. I think it's the guy following him that mentions the patch song. Which is kind of surprising now I think about it. I'm surprised that he didn't mention the patch song. I don't even know if he had it. According to that guy though, he sounded like everybody in the Patch Tribe sang that song, so it's kind of weird that the snake guy kind of went down so easily, but whatever. Rin calls dibs and has a lot of trouble dealing with him. I think that was just framing for a gag. And then the king of gags shows up. Apparently, I don't know what like relationship Ryu had to Narihime. I assumed that he was I guess his officiant, I'm guessing, is what he was. It would make sense considering that, you know, Ryu's spirit is kind of like a snake. So I'm only assuming that must have been his officiant.
And also the weakest one would go to the weakest group member of the group.
I knew that was coming.
No, Ryu's the weakest of the group. Literally the weakest of the group. They break down the people's in the next episode. They break down everybody's strength levels, and he's the weakest after Faust. But I would debate about Faust because he can resurrect somebody.
I mean, we're really only basing them off the Furioka level. I mean, that's about it.
In canon, Ryu has the second lowest Furioka after Faust, but Faust can resurrect.
I'm aware. I'm not fighting you on this. Just letting you have the floor.
Okay. I'm just saying here, you know, just talking out loud about it.
I'm glad you're talking. I guess I want to say that what I find cool was the fact that his first oversoul was Orochi, and I remember bringing up that, you know, Orochi was a part of like the myth that in Japan was Susanoo, the Amaterasu, in the killing of the 8-headed dragon. It's kind of cool that his like next oversoul is the Susanoo blade, which is kind of funny. That's a fillet technique. We apparently find out through this that apparently I guess he's supposed to be the chef of their own sin business when this is all said and done.
I mean, I could see it.
I just kind of found that funny. It's like, okay, so that's his job apparently. Faust is the doctor. He's the chef. I guess like Anna's gonna be
a doctor at a restaurant.
I have no idea. Maybe they're anticipating people dying or getting hurt. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Kind of funny.
I mean, apparently something's gonna happen. Those restaurants are dangerous, man. You could die. Forks and knives flying everywhere. After
Forks and knives flying everywhere.
Like Rin kind of gets owned a little bit because he wasn't prepared to fight him. We found out that the desert area, which makes sense that Rin can't. Well, at this moment, Rin cannot like focus.
I did say I was correct when I said that Ryu is the weakest, right? You weren't talking about Ren. You were talking about Ryu, right? I'm not an idiot. Tell me I'm not an idiot.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore, because like I was talking about Ryu the entire time. I did mention Rin before, but then I
Okay,
said like Rin kind of got shown up a little bit.
yeah. Okay. Then I'm not bad.
Pretty much like Rin is unable to generate electricity because there's no moisture in the area, which makes it also impossible for a horror to do anything.
Can we talk about the fact that the guy was sitting by an oasis when they walk in?
Maybe it wasn't enough water. I have no idea.
There was an oasis.
But he's also a mirage, dude. He's also a mirage. That guy, when he first walked in, he was a mirage.
But they don't say that the oasis was a mirage. They just say that, like, I don't know. Nobody ever said.
I mean, they were saying that the air was just too dry for him to make lightning. Is what they're saying.
But what about the ice? Like, why couldn't he? There were so many. You pulled water from underground, but like, why didn't he just pull water from the freaking oasis?
I don't know.
Makes me so mad.
I really don't know. I can't even. This is not even me trying to be funny or anything. This is. I really don't know.
You pull water from the ground. Well, there's this oasis over here, so the water table is probably pretty freaking high near the oasis.
As you can tell, Jock is very angry, and he's only gonna get angrier because he's certain collectible shows back up again.
Why are you so mean to me?
Huh?
Why are you be so mean to me?
I'm not being mean. I'm not the one making this anime. I was just laughing as I was watching it. I was like, he was having a field day with this.
Oh, with my notes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I didn't get to see where it was where you wrote. I know you wrote something down. But like Ryu finds out that apparently Namura was staying far away from them because he was a mirage. He ends up destroying the mirage, making Namura show back up to take him out and kill him. Death number 1. Can we get that death ticker ticked up to 1? Ding! Death number 1, and pretty much it allows like Ren to see what's been going on this entire time, why he couldn't hit him. Horror, as Jock absolutely pulls up water from the ground, even though the area was supposed to be dry, and gives like Ren the fuel needed to summon lightning to strike down their foe and incinerate them. As we were kind of pointing out earlier, as this is happening, we see a huge image pop up on the screen, and we see him smiling. I can only imagine he wanted this to happen. Is how I'm gonna take that. I don't know really what that meant, but I'm gonna take it as he wanted it to happen.
I think so too. I think he was glad, and I think like he's like, all right, I did my part. No one can say I didn't. I'm burning to a cinder, but I think secretly he wants him to win.
And we cut away from this apparently, and we go back to the island. And the first thing that we find out is that apparently a lot of people died during that skirmish earlier, and they were all brought back by inexplicable means. They have yet to figure out who did that. We have a funny little situation with I'm gonna call this guy, I forgot his name. The guy from like X-Laws, I forgot his name. I was reminded of Edward Erwick from Film The Alchemist's father as I was looking at this man's face, and I could not unsee it. And now that I said this, nobody else can unsee it now either. We have a little like funny scene, a little bit of like, well, this is after. Well, let me back up a little bit. We cut away. We find out that everybody's been brought back to life. Apparently, see Anna with a string rope around Manta's father. And as we
he's like, can y'all let me go?
As we see this, we pan over to seeing the X-Law guy and the woman that apparently died on that ship brought back to life, and they do a little gag where she apparently is naked. He says that her clothes are wet.
Every other female in the entire world.
What?
Every other female in the entire world in every anime ever. Oh look, a naked female, guys, run! How awkward! She's naked.
I I guess on that topic, she says the famous line, "I people saw me naked. I can't be like I can't get married anymore." I actually saw this a lot with anime, and I had to look it up now because I was like so confused. Is this some context, some contextual context I can get for this line? Because this is said almost in every anime with a girl in it. I guess I found some context. It's silly context, but I guess it's some comical, but yet it kind of makes a little sense. I'm guessing, at least from what I read, they were guessing that this line was probably made to poke fun at like old-timey Japanese, where usually the woman would like parents would like find a husband for them, and typically there is like a woman would be looked up and down based on her parents and whatnot, and like I guess her traits and her properties and whatnot. And typically, if a woman, I guess, was seen naked, this would be one of like the discouraging factors for, I guess, somebody being like I guess like the potential husband's family from saying like we don't want this woman for you, whatever like that. I think it's something silly. They're just poking fun at like I guess it's like old-timey Japanese like traditions that don't happen anymore because they're silly. I guess it's kind of what they were saying. It was like, I guess this is what they're making fun of. Because I mean, this line doesn't get used a lot now in modern anime, but it was used everywhere back in early anime.
That's interesting. I had no idea about that.
I knew about the whole courting thing, but I guess I never like made the connection between that and that, because it was always like high school girls or whatever that used that. This is kind of the first time it was a grown woman who used it. So I don't know, maybe they were just that's what they're saying. I don't know if that's true or not, but oh well. I mean, after she says that discount Film Alchemist dude pretty much puts a nut on her hand, and I use that word because it's not only in the notes I have here in front of me, but it's also kind of what he does put on her ring.
I mean,
finger.
that's the right thing to do, right? If you want to marry a girl.
No, guys, don't do that.
I mean, if you've nodded her first, you should probably marry her, right?
Dang it. I did this. Dang it.
This is your fault.
At first she's like, no, but then later she's like, yes. And that's about it. Not much really happened there of substance. We come back. Monta's father wants Anna to let go of him so he can talk to his son. I don't know what that's gonna like amount to.
Whole lot of nothing.
Maybe. Oh, here it is. And then we cut back to Anna. And then like Lego Man.
The Lego Maniac, yeah.
I was waiting for it in his notes here. I was waiting for it.
I don't understand anime's fascination with Legos. Like, who hurt the person that created this series? Who hurt them?
We cut back, and the Lego Man, Yo's father, and Anna are seen together. Apparently, the Lego guy and Yo's father went fishing because they're gonna have a barbecue later. They know what's happening underground, but they don't think they can do anything. And by they, I mean almost every adult that's ever graced the show at any point up to this point is actually there.
There's 3 people that couldn't be brought back.
I don't even know if they mentioned who it was.
Or too damaged to be resurrected.
Oh yeah, peyote. Yeah, I mean, when you blow yourself up with meth smoke, I'm pretty sure like you're probably damaged goods to begin with.
Yeah, I kind of hate peyote anyways. I was okay with that.
And then we cut back from that. We find out that they're going to the next plant in the underground area. Ryu's been resurrected, so we have 1 resurrection and 1 death by this point in the series. Ting.
Resurrection, death. Excellent.
And now we have the gang is now at the next door. The door isn't opening, we have a funny scene with Ren and Horo, like, with the story opening. What's happening? How about we just bust it down? As they're about to bust it down, the door opens and we are introduced to the next officiant. And I forgot his name, and I'm looking for it here right now. Oh, Braun, the spider guy. This guy's weird. Oh, I'm not a huge fan of spiders. the concept is Oversoul's cool.
And the concept. I was like, I like kind of like what he's able to do with it, you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I like it in concept. Just don't matter. Huge fan of spiders. And we get introduced to the plant biome area, and we also find out that apparently, well, we don't find this out just yet. He's first gonna attack them all and then kill them all because he's like, you wasted Furyoku trying to bring him back alive, and he was the first guy. He died in the first area. Like you're like this isn't good for you. And he attacks them. He traps most of everybody into the web except for Lyserg, who jumps out of the way earlier on, and apparently somehow Ren manages to dodge it too. But I don't think Horo dodges either, so I'm kind of confused about what happened there. I guess Ren had better reflexes. Ren again tries to attack the officiant, fails at doing so. And pretty much it's up to Lyserg at this point, and we find out from Lyserg that Braun was his officiant. So we're finding out that apparently, I guess every officiant we're gonna come across, we're gonna find out if any of them were like the officiants of the main cast of characters we've been dealing with up to this point.
Wiki also just kind of tells you.
I mean, he just tells them straight out. I don't think Braun says anything, but I know Lyserg does. Lyserg has a moment of like, feeling sorry. He doesn't want to do this, and ends up burning him with hellfire. And essentially, that's like he essentially thinks he's killed him, and it finds like he didn't. A piece of spiderweb shoots him in the chest, looking like it killed him. We find out that apparently the main reason why the Patch tribe are able to defend the Shaman King is because they have a ritual song that gives them powers of the Furyoku. It makes the Furyoku a little bit like more, I guess, hardened. And yeah, it might as well be a troll song at this point. But these pretty much been singing it. They've been pretty much singing it up to this point.
It's the dumbest thing. They just like start singing, and everybody's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, pretty he sings it. He ends up getting all powerful. He shoots Lyserg in the chest.
Yeah.
He pretty much thinks he's got Lyserg, and he summons blue spires with his song. And pretty much what to say, like, Lyserg's not having a good time here. He thinks he can beat Braun. Braun thinks he can't. And pretty much the episode ends. Don't know how much to say here about that. Episode's pretty interesting. Listening, like, I'm glad to see that Silva was not the first fight. I guess that's the one thing I can take from this, is that I'm glad to see Silva was not the first fight.
It was fun to see that like each place is gonna have a biome, and that like it was actually really unique. I thought that they made the desert one like a really cool biome, and then they went here, and I'm like, all right, well, did they just make the best one a desert? So then they went to this, because that was like, wow, it actually interacts with all their abilities, and you know what I mean, everything's going to be like super suspenseful because of that. And I was really like excited about that with that. And then they go to the lake, and I'm like, well, lake is kind of stupid. Or the forest. It's like, forest is kind of stupid. Like, what are they going to just do? But then they brought in like the ravine, you know what I mean, where they're going to fall into the canal or the river. What is that called? Canyon. They were going to fall into the bottom of the canyon, and they were like fighting up in the sky with spider stuff. And I'm like, spiders are kind of themed properly. And I was like actually kind of happy about how it was turning out. So I was into that for that one. But I felt like they fell off a little bit with Lake and Volcano. But I'm really, at the same time, I'm really excited about the idea of them going to space at the end. I don't know. I had mixed feelings about it. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Man, I like the concept of like having areas so they're just not fighting underground and it's just like brown textures everywhere. I think that's kind of like the point of these like plant areas is that they wanted to have a fight underground, but they didn't want it to be all brown. So this is what we got.
Yeah, I guess like I said, the only thing that like I was a little bit disappointed by was that they had the. I was so blown away by desert. Like, desert is awesome. Like they actually have like a really good plot based reason to make desert like worthwhile and interesting. It's not just like that color. But then, and then I was surprised when they held it up with forest. I'm like, oh, they're keeping it up. Like they're going to be able to pull this off. And then when they got to lake, I was like, well, lake's not great. I mean, lake wasn't great. Volcano was kind of just volcano. Like it didn't feel. I know that they brought smoke into it as a factor, but I just didn't feel like. I didn't feel as excited as I did for some of the other ones.
Well, I guess all of them are not going to be hits, greatest hits.
Mm.
And then we go to episode 48, title of the episode's Ever Since, defeating the 10 priests of the patch, who protect the place that recreate nature and environments, which is called a plant, is the only way to get to get under how. Wording, Wikipedia. Wording. Thanks to the efforts and sacrifice of the friends, Yo team can move forward steadily, but at the meanwhile, man, the people who work on Wikipedia have gotten lazy with their grammatical sentences.
I thoroughly agreed. I was a little bit disappointed with that.
How finally arrived at King's Court. So we can talk about this later. At the very beginning of the episode, like it looks like well, we come back from like the cliffhanger last one. It looks like Latzer is on the edge, and then pretty much what happens is that after Braun thinks he's like taking him out, Latzer, correction, back up. It looks like Braun's taking out Latzer, and he's going after the maiden now, who's shown her face. She's out of the Iron Maiden now, and she attempts to restrain him. Doesn't work. Shocker.
The annoying thing about that is she probably could have just killed him.
Probably.
She instantly cut off his arm. She's just too nice.
Yeah. I think there's an explanation towards that later on. She's saying after she had her awakening, a lot of her purpose disappeared.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever you say, Iron Maiden.
Lady.
But essentially, she tries to restrain him. Doesn't work. Shocker. He oversouls his body, which is the first time I think I've ever seen that happen in the show. Essentially turns into a giant spider. He's very nimble, apparently. He's about to go and attack the maiden. Lagster comes out of nowhere. One hand stops him. Pruitt says, you don't have to waste your Furyoku on him. Tosses him. And pretty much, he pretty much is completely like shish kebab. Well, not shish kebab, but he just burns him alive with his hellfire. And they explained this was saying that him being alive shook Braun to his core. So the protection he had from his Furyoku is gone. Which makes sense because, they established earlier on that Furyoku really is just like an accumulation of your mental state. So essentially, if you're shaken, you can be beaten.
I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was too bad.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that it kind of makes sense in the story-wise, considering this how Furyoku works. Is that it's just a mental state. So anybody can be powerful, as long as you have strong mental capacity. Pretty much, he shatters his confidence and just incinerates Braun, and he wins. And that's another death on the death totem. Ding. I wish I actually thought about this ahead of time. I could have actually had a death counter going up. Ow. I guess from there we go to the next area. We're dealing with Magna now, and he's in the volcano biome that Jock had talked about earlier. Which is really nothing much more to say than it's just a volcano area. At first, I didn't think there was going to be any eruptions, and we found out there are apparently a couple of eruptions in this world that they're in. That's about it. We found out that Magna's like spirit ally is in fact an owl, and he has an ability called Magnascope. Apparently the owl's a sniper. Didn't completely understand that. What?
Magnascope. That's what we're gonna do.
He wasn't gonna let me get away with that one.
The implication is that he's lived his entire life for this one biome, and now he's so happy because he can call it Magnascope. Like, what was he doing like before when he got this spirit ally? Like beforehand, like, do you just always call it on the off chance that he ends up having a big fight in a lava place, or what?
Let him be, man. Just let him be. He's just so happy.
He is happy, but like, did he know before he took the lava biome that he was going to be in a lava biome for this fight? Because if he didn't, why the hell did he call his owl Magnascope? It doesn't have anything lava-based in its actual ability.
I mean, his name is Magnus, so I mean, Kaka.
Don't you dare! Don't you Kaka me?
I guess not really much to say here. He goes out of his way. He goes out of his way to attack the Wait, does that happen here? Wait, did somebody die in the fight with
this guy?
With the plant guy?
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, Ren and Horror Ho. So correction, I gotta go back and actually ding up the.
Too.
Huh? Who?
Lyser almost dies, and Ren and Horror like nailed.
Okay, I forgot that Horror and Ren died in that fight. So when we go back and retroactively tick up the the death counter, ding ding, and resurrection, ding ding. Okay, we got that. That's all right in the world now.
You know what this conversation reminds me of?
I'm afraid. What?
I had a boss when I was younger, and
no kidding.
One day he came in, and I was really happy. And he looks at me, and I told him, I said, "Today is Talk Like a Pirate Day." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I smiled, and he looked at me, and he went, "Gay," and he walked off. He's just like, he just went gay, and he walked off. And I feel like, ding, 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 ding. If you really think about it, it's a little gay.
Listen here, I didn't have the forethought to buy a bell.
I'm sorry, it's wonderful. Ding, ding.
No, I understand. I just didn't have this, like, I literally didn't have the forethought to buy a bell, and I was like, it's too late now. The gag's already here.
No, we're doing good, and I like the dings. They're really nice.
Not much to note here. Magna goes after the he merged with his owl buddy, and goes after the Iron Maiden bell thing, and we find out the Iron Maiden used up all her Furioku back in the last area to bring back Ren and Horror, so she's out of the fight.
Yeah. I was disappointed. I wanted to see more from her.
Yeah.
They really kind of like just stepped her out of the plot. Like, it's like they wrote her out.
Well, I mean, apparently when it comes to bringing back people, it uses a lot of Furioku to begin with. Like, I guess she didn't have a lot to begin with, if she could only bring back 2 people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still a lot, because only Faust can bring back 1 person, so never mind. I was like, that's actually impressive.
But I wanted to see like a real fight with the character.
Maybe there wasn't. I mean, like I said before, like when you make a character in anything, you have a set plan, and you usually don't deviate from that plan unless something happens that makes it easy for you to deviate. So maybe that was just the whole plan with her to begin with. They didn't really have a purpose for her beyond her resurrecting people.
Or maybe it's just a female character. Female characters get the shaft in animes.
Moving on.
Oh, did I say that quiet part out?
Everybody heard you. But we found out that she's no longer in the fight anymore, at least for right now. She may come back again. Granted, she said that she didn't have enough time to regain her Furioku, so I guess she's gone forever. Magna is now fighting
I mean, what a wasted character. Can we admit that it's a wasted character? They spend like 10 episodes building up what a badass she is, only to have her do like one more heal than Faust can do.
I mean, that's impressive, right?
It's one more heal than Faust can do.
But that's like 2 a day, Jock. Faust could only do 1 a day. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing that she got taken out so fast, I will admit.
Why do I have to be the angry one all the time? Why can't you be angry too?
I'm enjoying this. Listen, like, you already get angry B when it comes down to talk about Gohan and how badly they ruined that character. Moving on before I get into that rant. Seriously, I will not get in that rant.
I know how you are.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just going to avoid it altogether. I have very strong opinions. We've already heard this several podcast episodes. I'm not going to, like... If you want to hear me rant about that, go check out the previous podcast episodes of My Hero Academia. I think I talk about it there.
He's a very, very angry man.
But, I can't really think of anything. No, I mean, Rin goes after Magna, and, it looks like he takes down Magna, but then Magna starts singing a song, and essentially powers back up. After this happens, it seems like Rin's on the rope. Yo apparently figures out the Opachu. I like to say, I'm very confused as to the Opachu's gender, because I've seen the word she thrown around, and then I've seen the word he. I don't know if that's a translation error.
I noticed that too.
It confuses me on the concept of, like, stop using the male or female pronoun if you don't know what gender it is. Like, just say they or something. It makes it a lot easier.
Anime loves to make you wonder what gender somebody is.
But like,
there's not a moment in anime history where an anime is happier than when you have no idea what you're looking at gender-wise.
I love the way you phrased that. You don't know what you're looking at gender-wise. Like, I don't know whether to be aroused or not aroused. What's happening here?
Is this okay? No, it's not okay. It's a little girl. Damn it! Why does the little girl have east-sided breasts? Stop being a pervert. Damn it!
Moving on. Apparently we find out, like, Ren's, like, in the middle of a stalemate, blocking all the attacks from Magna. And we found out a Pocket Show has the ability to read minds. Yo finds this out in the middle of Ren's fight.
Yeah, because why the hell not, right? Just
we found out that apparently a Pocket Show can read minds, and then we cut away because after finding out that he can read minds, or she, whatever, can read minds, we go back to How, and we see how, like, well, I guess the first thing I'd like to say, when we cut away, we somehow find ourselves, I guess we're dealing with, like, are we dealing with the parents yet? Yeah, we're dealing with the parents by this point, because after we found out that he can read minds, we cut away to that. Apparently, How found out, like, apparently Yo thought about how he saw Z. I don't know what that meant. I feel like that part is something we've seen. I just don't remember what he's referring to. Apparently, we found out that Flora has a past so far, and we go back to the island with everybody, the adults, talking. Again, Yo's mother looks exactly like his mother. Ren's older sister looks exactly like her mother. It's just weird. But well, not really weird. I mean, I guess it's expected. Sometimes the son looks like the mother anyway. But after, like, we see them having a barbecue, enjoying themselves. We see that, you know, the adults have, like, apparently reconciled that they can't do anything. That, you know, they trained their children, so it's up to them now. It's very weird. These adults are supposed to be incredibly powerful, but yet they can't do anything. I feel like wasted characters.
At all times.
What?
Yeah, they're wasted characters at all times. They never do anything.
But we see they're talking that they have trust in their in their children. pretty much speak. I don't know where the heck Manta is in all this, but I guess he's talking to his father right now.
Probably being relevant somewhere.
Stop being mean to Manta.
Manta is the most irrelevant character in the entire series of all time. What's the most relevant thing that Manta has ever done? Tell me it right now. Pop quiz.
Apparently, you have a line here. Maiden is awkwardly nude in a waterfall, praying for everyone's succeed.
Yeah, she's just chilling in a waterfall. They were like, "Oh, what can we do with her? Why does her clothes disappear? What does her clothes count on for Yuku?"
Yeah, apparently. At least what she was wearing.
Yuku. She just likes being naked, and then she can make. When she does choose to make clothes, she makes a chastity belt.
Can we not talk about the chastity belt on a 11-year-old girl?
Just for the hell of it, she's like, you know what I could really dig right now? A chastity belt. That's what she decided. That's how she lives her life.
I'm not gonna judge. I think Jock's already done a lot of that for me at this point.
Why what? Who chooses? Who opts in for chastity belts?
If she wanted to keep her virginity, I have no idea.
From who? She's 4.
11.
I'm sorry.
I know it's not much better, but still.
I'm sorry. How dare?
After that, we're gonna move on. We enter territory. We move on to territory that we probably should be talking about. But we cut away. Anna is like showing that like she can show the Furioku count levels because that's apparently important right now. And here we here for the Furioku countdown Olympics.
Want to go back to Dragon Ball for a second here?
Don't you dare say numbers like power levels are irrelevant, because I know we're gonna go with this.
No, what I want to say is, doesn't this feel like all the like irrelevant characters hanging out on Master Roshi's island? And like they're like, meanwhile, back at Master Roshi's island, and you're just like, oh, what the hell? And you have to sit there and like go through the bullshit with Master Roshi, and he's like, rank old young girls, and everybody's like, Master Roshi, you're a pervert. And he's like, I guess I am. And then they like all laugh like good naturedly because that Master Roshi, that's scamp. And then they like, you're just like, dude, I want to know what's going on with Frieza. I don't care about this.
I kind of enjoyed this like island thing. I really did. You know, it was kind of cool. I mean, yeah, they're not there for any purpose.
Chilling on an island and be like, oh, we're all friends now, and I don't care. Be friends. I don't want to talk to you. I want to find out what's going on with the relevant characters. I don't care about Manta talking to his dad. Who wants to know about Manta and his dad? Was there anybody that was watching this anime that thought, gee whiz, I hope I find out more about Manta? How's Manta doing right now? I understand what's going on with the plot, but gee whiz, let me at that Manta.
I'm gonna like upset you right now, but I actually kind of find Manta as an interesting character.
He's not relevant. It doesn't matter how interesting you find him. It's like the joke of me like being all obsessed with Froppy. I know that Froppy is not relevant.
I mean, I still find Manta's like family issues kind of interesting. That's just me. I know he's not really relevant to the plot, but I like to at least get some going on with figure what's going on with him and his father. Because like I mean, the guy's a douche nozzle. I like for all the characters to be happy, and apparently Manta's not happy. I would like to get that resolved.
He's not unhappy.
Really? Have you not seen this man?
Do you think he's embarrassed that his dad is 2 inches tall?
No, I think he just doesn't like his father being in his business.
Yes.
But apparently here we use this to find out the Furioku levels. I'm very shocked at how high Choco Love's Furioku max level is. Man, almost hit 200,000.
We knew that Choco Love was like turned out to be one of the most powerful characters though. Are you that surprised?
Yeah, because I have expected like Ren and Yo's Furioku to outclass him by this point, but that clearly has not happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, Ren already admitted that he was more powerful.
Also to point out, based on these numbers that we have right here at the time of the episode, Ren has used a lot of Furyoka. He's used half of his. It looks
He's
like
doing a lot of
Ren.
fighting too, though.
I mean, that's true, but like Yo looks
And his
like he's like.
Furyoki is like, annoyingly, his Furyoki is the third lowest out of the group. Like, he's not very. I mean, I'm not counting Mapacho at all, but out of the rest of the group, like, his is the third lowest. Forgive me for not counting Mapacho, but he's not. He's just not that relevant as far as, like, at least as far as a fighter goes. Why did you get all quiet on me?
No, I'm just like I'm still like trying to contemplate Chocolove's fear goes higher than Horo. I don't know why. I just like I always kind of like thought Chocolove and Horo were kind of on the same level, kind of, but like just seeing this, like all I can think of is like if only they had stamped Black Power on something on his uniform. I think I would have gotten a kick out of that.
I don't deny it would be.
What?
I don't deny it would be fun.
Like, jeez. Okay, but like, I mean, we have Yo's at this point is 108,000, Ren's at 100,001, or Ho's at 120, Chocolate is at 197,500, Light Circle is at 170,000, second highest. Ryu's at 85,000. I'm not gonna lie, that's higher than I thought it would be.
For Ryu?
Yeah. Faust is 12,000.
Because at least I'm almost as strong as Ren. And he didn't go through hell for that either. Like, Ren literally went through hell and came back and has had like all these like deaths and death like boosts and things like that, and Ryu has a wooden sword.
Well, the wooden sword is just a medium. It turns into a real blade.
I know, but it's a wooden sword.
Faust is at 12,500. Apacho at 800 because apparently the mind abilities don't use any Furyoku, and the Maiden's just out. Good question. I wonder why. I wonder why we don't see her full Furyoku. Didn't we get a number for her earlier? And I don't even remember what the number was.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, might have gotten one at some point, but I was curious what it was. But because she's out, they don't even tell you. But I think it would have been interesting to find out like where she stood. Because they talk about her like, remember when she fought up against that guy, against Braun, and then he's like, "Oh, finally someone that can hang with me."
Yeah, I suspect probably like if anything, maybe her Furyoku level is probably in the 200,000s. I would suspect, considering the spirit that she has is supposed to be Kami level. So,
I got the feeling that her power level was like Chocolove. The wiki says that her power level is 500,000 initial and 680,000 final.
So I wasn't that far off. I was like 300,000 missed down, like lower than should have been. But I suspected.
At least they're as powerful as everybody else combined. I don't think if you added everybody else up, it wouldn't be 500,000, would it? Or it would definitely be 680,000.
That's what I said. I think she probably is the most powerful out of a group, but because she doesn't really, and that's probably why they got rid of her, is because like she is powerful probably, and she probably could take out everybody with ease. Probably, considering she constantly is putting herself near death anyway.
Yeah, she should have just like gone alone.
Okay, pretty much like we have Ren dodge. We come back from the island. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the giant head.
Hang on, I'm almost done adding these up. Everybody else combined is 623,801, and she's 680,000 in her final. So running out of her was like losing half the team, as far as Furyoku goes. And the rest of the team is like, I mean, by the end of this episode is like at 50%. The
I
only one
mean,
that's pacing himself really well is Chocolove.
well, we'll see how this ends. Shoot, excellent. G. Somebody came here asking about your health, Jock. I guess I mentioned that you kind of were feeling under the weather last 2 weeks, so if anybody's interested in that, you can tell them right now.
I was like, I thought it was COVID. I was like really, really rocked out by it, and it probably hit me for like 10 plus days. Like, I was like really, really, really out. I was sleeping for like 14 hours a day for a little while. My son got it. He was out of school. My wife got it. She was out. And like, I tested twice for it just to see, because it just seemed, I was like, I don't know how I'm this sick and it's not COVID, but apparently it wasn't. So, you know, I'm glad, I guess, but like also like, holy crap, was I sick? So thank you for asking. Who was it that asked?
XLG. I don't think he's here anymore though.
Well, if you come across him again, thank you for asking.
No problem. Actually, speaking of that, I will need to send you like a link to the Discord. Steve said it's all right, so I'll get to that. I'll get that to you when I can remember. That's if you wanted, you know. Like, I'm not gonna force you to do anything that you're uncomfortable with.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
No, like I got back from Steve, like, or from Steve, that it's he's fine with it. That you join the community, the Discord.
Okay.
I mean,
let's chat on that like offline. So I feel uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, I know. I mean, basically all I was saying. All I was saying was I'm going to send you the link.
I had to say, like, I'd rather like on that one.
There's no problem. Back to the other side of the giant head. But we see Rin dodging a couple attacks from the guy, and from like dang, I forgot his name already, Magna, and I apparently cut away again, and I find it the weirdest transition. I almost thought they managed to get to the end of the area. I was like, we're not going to see the other plants, like, what the heck? And then it's Howler coming through the door. I was like, oh, okay, never mind, that makes more sense.
It took me a while. I was getting all ready to be disappointed. I was like, what the hell? Like, what's the other fights? What are they going to do with all these episodes? I wish they'd had like some sort of like meme, the enemy layer, but they didn't have like a announcer character in this series.
Well, something speaking, but he's a fighter now. But it's kind of funny. Like I almost like, well, they skipped through everything. I guess we weren't gonna see the rest of the plants, and then we found out Tao that we're with right now. I was like, oh, that was sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get it. Like, the audience probably wants to know what he's been up to, but
yeah, it makes sense.
It felt abrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, I wasn't expecting it, which is probably the point of it. But we were with Hal now after we found out about like the whole like mind reading kid that is with Yo right now. We found out the final area is a space plant. And the person waiting for Hal there is called Rutherford. I guess it was a her. I have no idea. Sometimes like sometimes my voice is gonna be high in this show, so it's like you never know if it's a girl or a guy.
Yeah, and back to my comment about anime is never happier, except when they like know that you have no idea what you're looking at.
We first get a lore dump here about the Mu civilization, and it's really weird they managed to make an entire area like act like the vacuum of space, leaving with zero gravity. At first,
because why would they bother to? Where can you go where you wouldn't get space? The other ones make sense. They're like, well, they were going to leave Earth, so they decided to preserve like an Earth-like environment, yada yada yada. But what planet are you going to go to a space planet? Why would you make a space planet?
Space! I have no idea.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to preserve the memory of space. Like, what are they talking about?
I mean, that's why the Mu civilization didn't last long.
Because they weren't very bright.
That's what I kind of found really weird, is that they're pretty much saying they're making the assumption that I guess they weren't that intelligent. But it's like they made this plant facility down here that takes a lot of ingenuity. And usually you think intelligent, you think engineers to be intelligent, you know, higher intelligence than the average person. But we found out more about Howl's like ability to read minds. We found out it's more about like, I guess he can read basic concepts in people's minds, but he can't read complex ones. And he was very vague on that one.
I feel like they wouldn't bring that up unless it was definitely relevant. Do you?
I mean, now you say that, I guess it makes sense. I mean, maybe there's a weakness or a hole in Howl's armor that we don't know about.
I feel like that's the only reason that you would bring that up. That it was going to come up as a factor later on.
I guess, I mean, that makes sense. I just don't know. It seems kind of like an out of place statement for him to make. But then again, maybe it's supposed to be out of place until we get to the point where that will make sense. He kind of only brings it up because like the Rutherford thought like he could read her mind, and he was kind of like yes and no. I got the basics of what you were thinking, but I didn't get the entire story. So it was nice that you explained everything. So it was like okay. Not really much to say there. I mean, then we pretty much like now he's going over to, you know, he gets created with the Great Spirit. Now he's getting ready to prepare the ritual to become one with the Great Spirit. And I guess like we cut back to Yo after this revelation that apparently Apako can read minds. He's like, I wonder why Howl let Apako to go with them, which I guess is actually an interesting question. Regardless of this character's fighting ability, mind reading has been a really powerful skill in this universe. It's kind of weird that he would let a chess piece like that go of their own volition.
Do you think it's a sign of his like slight like weakness as a character that there's that human side to him that seems to be a big factor in the series just in general anyway? Are they making a nod to the fact that there's some substance to this character that they want you to kind of know about?
I guess. I mean, I take it more like I think he has like a soft side for Yo, and in every encounter, when they keep teasing a dang fight, and it doesn't happen. Sorry, that he has a weakness, or he lets his guard down around Yo for reasons unknown to anybody else.
Yeah, I can see that. It made me wonder though, like I was just like, did they just bring him in just to like make you feel like this guy could still be saved? Like was it a plot device to remind you that there was like a human under all there that they're preparing you to have in mind for like later in the series? It felt a little bit like that.
Maybe I had assumed, because when y'all had the revelation, I thought at first maybe like Apaka was some like entity that was a part of Howl, and like that's what I thought was going on there, but I guess not. I like to know what Apaka's doing with him anyway. We never even got that information.
We don't even know like what Apaka wants. Apaka mostly is just, you know, and has big eyes. We like you said, we're not even fully clear on his gender.
Maybe we'll find out at some point. And now we got this relation that they can read minds, and we from there pretty much apparently I guess I must have glossed over this, but I guess Ren destroys Magneto. Sorry. Magna, and we move on. We're in the hallway now, and pretty much Chocolate starts questioning Ren what he's doing in there, and then Ren throws a sword, slightly misses Chocolate, and hits the eye of the surveillance camera being used by Radim. And I guess like Rain was being vague about something, so you'll find out eventually. I don't know what he means by that. Pretty much, I don't know really what to say here. It's like really weird. We get transitions, not much to say in between what's happening in the plants. We see that they're getting closer and closer to where Hao is. The next room we enter to is the room with Radim, the announcer that we've been seeing for a majority of the tournament. Get to the lake plant
because it didn't quite. I don't know. It never fully register to me that he was a shaman. Like, I don't know why. It just never, like, I saw him. I'm like, oh yeah, he would be a shaman, wouldn't he?
Well, he's a pacifist, so I mean, yeah, he would be.
I know, but it just, like, it never occurred to me that he would also be powerful. Like, I realized it for the first
time. I mean, yeah, that right there was kind of like the weird thing. It's like I expected him to like be simple, but apparently he's not. Well, he's simple, but he's like not like easy simple, I guess is the best way to put it. But so we get to the room with the lake plant, and he's in there, and he's like, he encourages them to quit. You know, them being them, the main characters say no, and he proceeds to rock their worlds, metaphorically.
Like a hurricane.
Dang it. Dang it, Vegeta. But he pretty much shows like his at first it seems like him just using his Furioka to make a blade is as a simple trick, but like he's very nimble, he's able to float on water, and he pretty much wrecks almost everybody's like oversoul. Just cuts it. Like it seems simple too that he can cut it too. It doesn't seem like he's like, and with the aspect that he can just sing and get more powerful is even scarier.
And then he just kind of wants to level with him and be like, guys, you're not gonna make it. Stop doing this. Which is kind of fair because like we just added up everybody's abilities and said that they were all collectively slightly less strong than Maiden. And twice of Maiden's power is about 1.25 million, which is where the Furioka reading for Hal is. So when he says, like, guys, you're not going to beat him, he's kind of right. Like, how are they going to beat him?
Maybe that's the trick. Maybe Yo came down here and with the idea to not hurt Hal.
I mean, he did, but I mean, what are they expecting to get? They have to, like, fight their way to Hal so Hal can talk to him again? Is that, like, what his big plan is?
I mean, maybe because Hal's going to be sleeping by the time to get to them, maybe they're going to take the time to rest. Maybe they're expecting to have enough time to rest to get their power back.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a terrible idea.
Look, we talking about a terrible idea, but I mean, they're probably still going to do it.
I mean, given their options, that's not a terrible idea. But
actually, speaking of terrible ideas, we cut back to the island. Meanwhile, on the other side of the giant head, apparently June says that she can't find the children, and I was sitting here like, what do you mean you can't find the children? They're underneath the ground right now. And then I remembered that there's two other children that they were talking about.
Which children were they talking about? That's what I thought they meant.
No, I thought they were. I forgot that they were talking about like the kids that Yo's father was looking after. I forgot about them. I forgot they existed.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I thought she was talking about like Yo and the gang, but no, she was talking about the two kids, and talking about bad ideas. They were actually rushing towards to defeat Hal, quote unquote, and we cut away.
Her idea wasn't bad though. Their strategy isn't bad. They want to punch a hole in the airlock and flood it.
I feel like they want to try to attack Hal. I don't think they're trying just to break an air pocket.
But I mean, Hal can't, like, not drown. If he's asleep in there and they flood the thing with water and he's in a shaman sleep, that sounds like as good a plan as I've heard from anybody so far.
Do you think it's gonna work though?
No, I don't think anybody's plan is gonna work, but like, if we're being completely honest here, they're doomed as hell, but like, as far as like plans go, it could be a lot worse. If you have to pick something to do, you might as well do that.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong. We also apparently, as we end this episode here, as a cliffhanger, once again, we get to get some concrete numbers, kind of, about like how much Furioka is expended when they do attacks and whatnot. And I always wanted this information, so I'm kind of glad we get this now. I would have appreciated this much earlier, but I mean, better late than never. Pretty much, we found out that apparently in Oversoul, to create and maintain one, you spend 10,000 Furioku. To use a move, it's for 5,000. So, like, good gracious, like, it sounds like you can't be a shaman unless you can, like, at least you're, like, a minimum, like, Furioka level is, like, 15,000. And even that's still dangerous. That's actually crazy.
Well, endurance has always been short with the shamans. We've seen that. Like, shaman fights are not long.
Yeah, but in order to be one, you at least have to have a Furioka level of 15,000 at minimum, based on that math. Mm-hmm. So I would say at least the right minimum would probably 25, so that way you still have Furioka to spend.
You're kind of thinking down the wrong way though, because a lot of shamans don't even like worry about transformations and stuff like that. Like, that was something Yo picked up fairly recently in the grand scheme of things, was that he could even transform.
I mean, I guess, but he was saying like basically the basic Oversoul is like 10,000, and then like each move is like 5,000. I mean, even if it was just that like the minimum, I guess what I'm trying to say, the minimum entry point to be able to be a shaman is like kind of still high.
Yeah, but I just meant that like until recently, like nobody was even transforming. The first few episodes, like nobody even found out how to do that. That was like next level shaman. To hang out with this type of shaman, you have to have high level stuff. But like that witch shaman on the boat, for example, she didn't transform.
I really don't know what the name of what a Shaman King is, XLG, but thanks for the 7 bits. Also, if you're still here, Jock says thanks for asking about his health. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I was just thinking like when it comes to this math, taking it down to the very simplest I can, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, these numbers, I could have gone about these numbers, but I'm glad they give them to us, because at least it. Okay, now I know how their Furioka is draining. Because every time I saw their Furioka drain, I always thought it was really random and arbitrary. I mean, it technically still is, but I mean, we got some concrete numbers kind of like explaining how the drain works. Because I always found that weird. Dang it. As we're coming to the end of this, pretty much, after they say we're not gonna back down, he immediately goes to stab Faust to the chest, and the episode ends. All I can say is that escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did.
So next episode's titled like Good Night. I guess we'll be coming back. I think not next week, but the following week. I guess the next 2 episodes. I suspect by that point Shaman King will have ended. So I think we'll have like one more podcast beyond next week. Well, beyond the next time we do this for the series.
We got a month left.
This is a cool ride. The show got serious like in certain parts. I didn't expect it, especially all the death ding that was happening.
You just kind of made it slightly less serious by going, you know. I'm still here for it.
I mean, all that was happening, but I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see how this ends. I don't know how they're gonna take down Hal, because realistically, they'll probably be down to 0 Furioka by the time they get to him.
I've never seen like an anime where the main characters had so little of a plan about what to actually do.
Well, I mean, this is Joe we're talking about here.
Yeah, I know, but I just Like they really have no concrete idea of what they're going to do about this situation at all.
I think Yo had a plan, but it was all the way up to like when he was gonna let Hal become Shaman King. After that, he was just gonna be riding by the seat of his pants.
Step 1, achieve Shaman King. Step 2, yeah. Destroy the world.
Okay, I think with that we're gonna end. I'm gonna end it here. Next time we do this will be new 2 episodes of Shaman King, and I guess it'll be. I think we'll be getting to like where Hal is. I would think. I had no idea. I'm not sure how many like plants they're gonna go through because I think we've gone through 4 by this point. So at least we're halfway there.
Is there something I don't know about the word plant?
I have no idea. I mean, if that's something you want to look up for next podcast, be my guest.
They use the term in Trigon too, but in Trigon it makes sense. Like when you find out what a plant is, like you're like, okay, I can see why he'd be a plant. But in this, maybe it's a plant, like because like they're trying to trick you, and like the plant is the fact that it's a trick. Like when you plant an Easter egg.
And with that, and with that, folks, we're just ending it here. See you guys next time.